These are 19 by 8.5s, ET45, I believe. They needed a little work to fit on the van, but one of the things about them is the rolling diameter is the same as the wheels that are already on my van. So it's not going to throw off the speedometer, it's not going to do anything like that. But for them to work, what I calculated was 20 mil spacer in the back. If I brought it up more than 20 mil, the wheel itself was actually going to stop the sliding door from opening. So this will work in the rear, and then for the front I have 15 millimeters. The fronts definitely hit the suspension when I put the wheels on there, so I needed to bring them out. So I decided to bring them out 15 mils. I think this will look nice. I need to change the wheel studs today, so I bought longer wheel studs for the rear. I believe these are 60 mil, and because I'm bringing it out 20 millimeters with a spacer, I needed elongated wheel studs. So these are going on today. So the big part of the job today is going to be removing the rear hubs, pressing the old ones out and pressing these new ones in so that these will hold the 20 mil spacers. Hopefully the rear hub assembly comes off easily. I have to take the drum off and then take the big nut, the big 46 millimeter nut off the back. And I know this can be kind of a bear to get off. It can be pretty tight. So hopefully it doesn't fight me too much, because I need to get these on there today. But yeah, these are quite nice Vertinis, and they're a gray, but there's a little bit of a metallic sparkle to them, and there's a slight blue. They're in the sun, so these work pretty nicely with the van, because the van is blue, and the dark wheels kind of go with it also, because the van is kind of darker shades. It's like the blue with the black bumpers, black mirrors, that type of stuff. So I think these are going to look really nice on there. I think I'm going to put these in the freezer, then take them out one at a time, because it'll kind of maybe shrink them and it'll be easier to press them in. I'm going to do that, because that's what I do with bearings, with races of bearings, and it always works. So that's what I'm going to do. Or, I don't know if you've ever been in Alameda, but Tucker's Ice Cream, that's a must. All right, be good. When you take your wheel off, and if you're not comfortable jacking your vehicle up and taking your wheel off, don't do this. This is not for you. Jack it up. Jack stand there. When you take your wheel off, this is what it's going to look like. This is the rear drum. Mine already is missing. There's little bolts that go through here that hold the drum to the hub. Mine's already missing it. Usually vans with aftermarket wheels is already missing that. So what you want to do is you want to take the drum off of the hub. I hit in between all the studs with the hammer to free up any kind of corrosion that's in there. But you want to get this off, work it off, take that off. All right, kind of look at everything. The brakes look good. This isn't leaking. Right, here is the hub. So we're trying to get this piece off. How this comes off is take the cotter pin out of here, and this is a 26 millimeter nut right here. And you take that nut off, and then this literally just slides right off. So this is not actually really a hard job. The biggest thing is this nut. That was shockingly easy. I don't want to use too much break loose juice because it's going to be inside the drum, so I gotta be careful with this. I don't get it on the shoes, but I just want to get a little bit. One busted nut. Cool. The nut is off now, and this should pop right out. So, these boyos, you gotta push through. You can see there, right there. They have to pop out, and then the longer ones I have get pushed through this. And then reverse everything and put it back on. This is an old nut, a wheel nut. So what I've been doing is I screw this on. Screw this on one of these. And I got a socket that's just about the same height as the distance from the floor to the bottom of the hub. And I'm beating it. It does work. Yep, it's coming off. Look, it's loose. That's one. And then you just do all 5 of them. This is my frosty, fresh out of the freezer, longer stud. So what I've been doing is I've been putting just a tiny bit of grease just on the splines, just to help it go in there. The freezer method should have made it a little smaller. And then I drop it through a hole in this. And when I feel that the teeth, the splines, are kind of engaged, I slot the stud into the vise just to support it, and I kind of tap it. This is probably going to shake the... until it seats. Alright, so that is seated. That's seated in there. And so I have seen other people putting like, you know, like a socket or something up on the threads and then getting a nut and tighten it and pulling it through. But T3 Technic, which is where I got these, don't suggest that because you can damage the threads. So this way, they're being seated without putting stress on the threads. All the studs are pressed in. Oh, look at this. Do you have any spider's egg sacs in your brakes? Get them out of here. So what I'm going to do is, this goes back on now. There's 2 holes, 2 threaded holes in the hub, and there's 2 holes in the drum. Just line them up. They don't really matter anymore, but I'm going to line them up anyways. That's where that goes. So, then the castellated nut goes back on. Okay, let's see. 46mm axle nuts fit the rear stub axle of all 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive Vanagons, torque to 360 foot-pounds prior to installing the cotter pin. 360 foot-pounds. This castellated nut, as per Go Westy, Cotter pin. Right. So that's on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up and paint it while I have the wheel off. Alright, so I have cleaned all of this up, given it a nice little paint, so when you see through the wheels, all this, you can't see this, but the trailing arm, the drums, this was sprayed with caliper paint, so it's heat resistant, and I did the trailing arm too, so it looks nice, because there is a lot of open space in these wheels, so let me get the wheels and put them on. $20mm spacer, and it's hub centric, so it'll go into the. I'm gonna pop this center cap up because I know that's not gonna work because the hub. Right. Yeah. Right. Let's get some nuts on. These look really nice in here. Just enough to get them on the ground and give them a little final check. There's plenty of clearance around it. You'd swear I took some measurements for this. Let me get this thing on the ground. Alright, I jumped the gun a little bit. So I took the wheel off, took the old adapter off. This old looking dinosaur. And for this 15mm spacer to go on there, I had to take this dust cap off. Slide this on first and then tap this back on. This is probably going to protrude out the face of the wheel quite a bit, which is kind of a bummer, but there's nothing really I can do. Maybe I can clean it up, degrease it, and paint it fresh or something, so it'll look a little better, but... So this is how it's going to be. But what I am going to do is I'm going to hit a lot of this with brake clean this up a little bit. I'm going to paint this top arm black, just so when you look through the wheel, things kind of look nice and clean in there. I did it on the other side when I was doing the spring. I just didn't do this side yet, so let me clean this up a little bit. I'll bring you back. But I got the spacer on there. I repainted that cap. I have all my bolts down over there, ready to go. So let me bring the wheel in. Okay. Right. Damn. Is that nice? I'm gonna eat all the crap out from under it and get it back on the ground. That's all 4 of them. And then I'll run it around a few times and then retorque everything. Alright, so I'm gonna end it there. So this one was really to show you what was involved in pressing out the old and pressing in the new longer wheel studs. Putting on wheels and spacers is not complicated. But the hub aspect, the rear hub of the Volkswagen T3, the Vanagon transporter, when you have to remove that to press out the old and press in the new studs, you know, it can be a little daunting. It's not complicated. There's very few parts that need to be removed to access it. And as you saw in the video, I didn't use a press. I just used a big old hammer and I just whacked them out and whacked the new ones in. Yeah, so it's definitely doable with minimal tools in your own driveway. So hopefully this gives you the confidence to try to tackle it yourself. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, share the video with someone, and I will see you on the next one.